Oh my god, another fucking episode of the Super Suck Hour. Kill me now. My name is the Super SUCKLORD, and we're back with a Clubhouse edition. We've been roasting it up real nice.
Right.
And we got a whole grip of people in the fucking studio. For the very beginning, we have episode sponsor James Hudson, who created the film Dark Harvest. We're going to probe his rectum about that fine, independent cannabis film. DKE Dove is back one more time, because why not? We're going to juice him for all he's worth, like his prostate. Bill McMullen, billions, McMillions, parachuting in. There's still a fucking hole in the ceiling. Don't worry.
It's like the Run DMC video,
Yeah,
right?
except it's Bill McMullen.
With Harold Bud Melman.
Yeah, classic. David Healy, again, we're going to tap you hard for this one. J-Core, finally, we have a job for you this episode. It's to opine on things. And Nasty Neil is in the motherfucking house, and with a special surprise, which we're going to get into in a minute. Watch him stunt. Okay, Mr. Hudson, you are here because you're the episode sponsor. You created a film called Dark Harvest, and it's a cannabis movie starring none other than Cheech Marin. Written, produced, directed, and starring yourself, correct?
That's right.
And it just showed at the New York City Cannabis Film Festival to a rave reviews, did it not?
Yes, it did.
Tell me a little bit about the film Dark Harvest. What is it about?
It's a murder mystery, noir, weed crime movie. Did that cover enough genres?
Why did you feel are you a filmmaker by trade?
I'm an actor turned filmmaker, yes.
Is this and you produced this all yourself? Why did you feel inclined to tackle this particular subject matter?
I'm from Vancouver, BC, which is famous for weed, and my parents were hippies, so I grew up around a lot of weed, and so that was the backdrop for the story.
So basically, you as an actor, probably like most actors, like, were really hungry for a role, and they're not giving them away for free, so you had to create it for yourself.
That's
you
it.
look like you played a very troubled cannabis cultivator who maybe got involved with the wrong crowd.
That's
You
right
got
on.
fucking Cheech from Cheech and Chong in your movie. How did you persuade him to do this film? I mean, he's like a real actor, and
I wrote a part specifically for him. There's a lot of real actors in the movie,
I'm sure
but
that.
there's only one of Cheech and Chong in there, and
Did you write
I
a
wrote
part
a
for
part
Chong
for
too?
him. No, I didn't write
Just
a part for
Cheech?
Tommy, just for Cheech.
How come?
Because
When they're together, they want the payday.
Right, but no, I mean, he doesn't look like he's playing Cheech in this movie.
yeah,
It's
this is the
different-
first.
different role,
This is the
right?
first weed movie he's done in 33 years, and it's the first serious weed movie he's ever done.
Right.
From what I know, he had in
Nice
his
dreams.
contracts after the Cheech and Chong movies, he wanted no reference to weed around him in movies for a while. I think so. This is the first time he's back doing a
That's
weed movie.
quite an accomplishment.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you to give me
Pretty
his whole
tough.
story. I would
So
love.
Born in East LA, there's no weed references?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, so I just plugged
It's
your
been a
movie.
couple
What
months since I
What the
watched
fuck
it.
do I get?
What
What am I getting out of this?
We get
well,
part two.
we got a free T-shirt.
Can you get me? I've been wearing your motherfucking.
No,
this is his T-shirt.
That's the film festival.
All right, well, whatever. You
T-shirt.
benefited
I got
from
a
this. Can you
dark-
get me? Can you get Cheech on my show?
If we're in New York together, for sure.
All right, you can come on too. If you
Okay,
can
thanks.
get, if you
I'm
can get
already
Cheech, if you can get Cheech on my show, you can come back and we'll fucking jerk your
Okay,
movie off
cool.
for a whole fucking hour.
Cool. Cheech would like your
So
shit.
okay, cool, yeah, hook it up. How do we find this movie now that it's already deployed? Where is it going now?
So
It's
Cheech
on,
and I are
iTunes.
looking for distribution right now. So
Do you have
right
any
now-
screenings coming up?
It's the next screening is in Hamilton in Canada, and that's
There's some kind of fucking website.
darkharvestmovie.com.
Yo, pass one of the cards down.
Put that on the screen.
Yeah,
W-
Okay, Mr. James
www.
Hudson, is that okay?
I love it. It's kind of
Harvest.
like Dark
James
Star and
Hudson,
Blue
do you have
Harvest.
anything else you
all
want to
at
say
once.
before I scuttle you to the wind?
Are you gonna make Cheech and James figures?
We can talk.
Okay.
You should talk to this guy.
Oh, here we
actually.
go.
If you
Oh.
really want to make figures for your movie, talk to him.
Okay.
I'm not
not
gonna.
right now.
I'm not gonna
Okay.
fucking do it.
Cool.
Dark Harvest.
Okay. Thanks for having
Okay,
me, man.
thanks. Shove off now. And if you
Okay.
want to smoke a joint and pass it around, knock yourself out. Okay. Cool.
Cuddle along.
Dark Harvest, everybody.
James, it sounds pretty awesome.
where do you come
I
up-
think
how do you
Morgan
know all
meant to
these words,
meant to
man? He
he meant
uses
to
the
like
rarest
finish it up
words.
with that, but it sounds pretty
You
cool.
can hang out if you want.
And
We're gonna
congrats
eat in a while.
on the achievement of making a movie. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, stay eat what I'm gonna cook.
Not
That's-
everybody makes a fucking movie.
that's pretty cool.
No.
I'd love to jerk the movie off more. I didn't see it, so I'm not going to review a movie I haven't seen. So, I was at the Cannabis Film Festival, but there was a weird time warp thing.
Really?
Yeah, where we somehow shot this episode
Oh, yeah.
after the movie, whatever.
How crazy.
Okay, so
It's like
Cannabis
Star
Film
Trek
Festival
5.
Last week's cannabis.
or whenever the hell it just passed,
Yeah,
like
cool.
whenever this came.
There's this big chasm between us.
It's more than metaphoric.
Do you guys want to cozy up? Okay. This is listen. All right, order in the court. Order in the court. We
Cozy
got
up.
business. I know everybody likes to hang out and everything, but we still have to put on a fucking show here.
My
We
bad,
got a
my
big
bad.
agenda. We haven't finished milking Dove's prostate. But before we get into the meat and the real shit of this episode, I just want to say, like, I think we got something interesting happening here with the cooking section now, Mr. Nasty Neil. You know,
Yeah.
we went hunt. We discussed last time we wanted to, get a little more
Get
exotic,
weirder and weirder.
get weirder and weirder, and we all did a bunch of research trying to get some cockroaches and grasshoppers and earthworms for the show, but we could not find it in all of New York City, so we're gonna have to order it online.
You can
So.
find cockroaches in New York City?
No, we'll get grasshoppers.
Not food grade. Yeah,
I'm
we're
not
gonna get
eating
the.
fucking
Okay, we're gonna
grade,
get
yeah.
the. We have to order them. We're gonna get them sent to us in the mail, so the
Do
bugs
people
are
eat
coming.
cockroaches? They eat like I've had crickets.
Water bugs.
yeah,
Water
yeah,
bugs.
water
Like in
bugs.
Vietnam and Thailand, they eat water bugs.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not.
Those
I
are
don't
the
know
ones
about that
like that
They're bigger.
swim
though.
around on a patty, not like in the shit.
Take
here in
everything
New York.
else.
No, you're not gonna want to eat New York. Someday people will be eating those things. I think
you know what?
in
Fuck it. I'm
apocalyptic
riding
New
the
York, we're
lightning.
gonna
I'll
be
eat one.
eating roaches.
Burrow 6.
Guaranteed you. Burrow 6. They eat cockroaches.
Yeah, right.
But we're
Robotic
gonna get
version
that.
of
So we
myself.
wanted to get something
Eating
freaky, so we
cockroaches.
went to Chinatown and we bought some fucking frog's legs. And I'm gonna be honest with you, those look fucking disgusting. Hold
Those
that
look
shit.
crazy.
They look like a chicken wing.
They
Not
look like chicken and shrimp combined.
Are you
Right,
you're
holding it
Chinese,
over your
do you know how-
laptop.
It
Just
looks like a
holding it
little
over your
banana.
laptop. It's like, don't hold that over my keyboard.
I've never had these, nor have I
I've
ever
had
cooked them.
I've
so
had like
hopefully I don't
I've
kill
had
anyone
them in
today.
like Thai restaurants where they're like breaded and deep fried to the point you can't tell what the fuck's going on. What are you gonna do with them?
Similar.
You gonna bread them?
Yeah.
And
I'm
cook
just
'em
gonna
on the
throw them in
skillet.
a little flour, little.
I will
keep,
say-
keep it, and what are you gonna dress it with? Or are you gonna keep it simple so we can really
some-
experience the
I got some
flavor?
shallots, some diced shallots. I got more garlic. I got
Cook
diced
that.
tomato.
You read how to do this, right? Because I don't want to be getting any kind of weird fucked up frog disease from this shit.
Well, they're gonna be
Frog
cooked
leg
enough so
growing
anything
outside
that
your
I
Yeah, cook them really good. Because as far as
from frog leg poisoning and the mental imagery that you would have in your head.
I gotta be honest with you, like I had them and they tasted like chicken, but when I was in the Chinese store and I saw the live frogs, I was like, those don't look edible to me. Those look just gross and slimy. It just looks gross to me. I saw the dead frog laying on the ice and it just didn't look like food, And so I'm open to liking
He was
it. That
looking
does
to the
look like
left.
there's a nice little lobe of meat on there.
And we dissected
looks-
those in like high school.
Reminds me
Yeah.
of a chicken
Pinned
wing
it
or
back.
chicken leg.
Yeah.
I'm really fond of the frog
Yeah,
emoji.
no, I'm open,
I like
but like
that
yeah, like
emoji
they
a
had the
lot.
live turtles, but it's like I wasn't about to
I'm never eating a
participate
turtle.
in turtle murder on the show.
No way.
Yeah, I know you wouldn't do that because you love
love
turtles.
turtles.
You love turtles.
Turtles
You
my
are
favorite.
turtle,
I am turtle.
right?
Yeah.
Hey,
From Entourage.
Yeah, we know. You didn't have to say it.
have you ever licked
Okay,
a turtle?
They got your whole style.
You ever
from
licked
you.
a turtle's back? You ever done that?
No, like the trip.
Yeah.
I thought it was a toad.
Well,
Psychedelic toads.
well, yeah.
Have you
Yeah,
ever
toads.
done that?
Yeah, from a turtle you get like.
Oh, sorry. I said
salmonella.
turtle. I'm sorry. I was
You mean a
thinking.
frog.
No,
I was
the-
thinking
the
frog
toads.
when-
Frog
I
lickers.
was thinking like a toad, like the.
When you
like
shake
the
it around, they have that little
excretions from the
white
back.
mucus that comes out inside.
And it really makes you trip.
Well, if
Just
you,
curious.
if you only eat a
It
little
seems
bit
like
of
it seems like a real Morgan in Oregon experience.
I think that's more of a tropical thing.
if you eat
Yeah.
too much, you're gonna die.
Yeah, I don't know. There's better ways to get high than licking frogs, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound safe. It just doesn't sound safe to me.
You mean like you
So,
might get attacked by
You're
sort of tiger
welcome.
while looking for
You're
the
fine with frog legs.
Oh yeah, no,
Should I start?
Is it because you're Chinese and
No,
Chinese
it's just
people
be-
are known to eat anything that crawls on this green earth?
No, it's because I see myself as an open-minded individual. Being Chinese has got nothing to do with it.
Did I just say something racist?
Kind of. I had a weird image.
I'm
of her
feeling
running
real
around just
sensitive
eating
these
everything.
days.
I
It
do
was
that
racial.
sometimes.
You know.
It was racial, yeah. I'm
She's
feeling
actually-
sensitive these days since that.
Where were you? Are you here? Were you born here?
I was born in Oakland.
Where are you
California.
from? Where are you
I'm
from?
Hong Kong. I'm from
Okay.
Hong Kong.
Where are you
You're
from?
Chinese. You are Chinese, then
I
that's
am
okay.
Chinese.
Yeah, and we-
I'm
it's
also
gonna start
American.
now.
Yeah, I know, but
Consider
you're when
myself
we
very
talk
much.
about Chinese things, you tend to be the expert.
You can call me.
Well, you know,
I mean, I
because
can offer my.
I mean, I think in general, like Asian people are a little more open to like eating weird shit, more shit, you know.
Can I say something that I always say?
But I don't want to be
about
like
Morgan?
Jesse Waters.
About the Sucklord.
What?
I've traveled with the Sucklord. I've been around the Sucklord a lot. I'm really always impressed with the Sucklord's proclivity to eat almost anything that's put in front of him.
Me too.
Anything,
Me
actually.
too.
Anything. Like, he's just like, I think there's something in the Sucklord's mind that's like, if a human on this planet is eating this, then
Must be some
I
merit
should.
there.
I'm not going to
Try
be
it.
bothered by it at
Yeah,
all.
I've always
yeah.
admired
Like
that.
Yeah, so
Why?
it's
I thought
always-
that seems normal to me.
No,
Oh,
but
that's well, yes, to you it does, but I'm just saying to
You're not
many of
wasteful.
us
It's
that
a
are like,
s- it's a s-
"Yeah, I
it's a
don't-
sex thing.
you're not
Is it?
wasteful.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you ate Indian food leftovers off my plate, and that was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Because I was like, oh my god, how could you do that on someone else's plate where they've already eaten?
I don't like to waste food.
It didn't go to waste.
Okay, but that's actually not his superpower.
Yeah.
His superpower, we were at a Japanese restaurant,
Frugality?
and there was
No.
Webco.
a ball of wasabi, like probably not as big as a golf ball, but like fucking huge, right?
A small goiter.
And he took the thing, and Sarah and I were sitting there, we're eating, and he went like
You
this,
dared me to do it.
pop, and he ate the whole thing. Like there's something about his sinuses, like they don't burn or something. And he's
Did
like,
you chew it?
That's why I'm not gonna die from all that spray paint shit.
No, it's because you don't have sinuses because it's just coated with like urethane.
Because of all the
resin.
spray
You-
paint.
The
Italian
pickle at San Gennaro was amazing.
it was,
you
it
were
was,
pretty good with that.
it was insane. You would
garlic, olive oil, and red
Easy
wine.
pickle.
you would have
You'll
fallen
live
out of your
forever.
chair. Like it was too big a chunk to all. No.
That's my superpower. Lucky me. I'm gonna make $1
Can I
million
ask a question?
and fight crime.
What was hotter, the wasabi or that pickle from San Gennaro?
The pickle.
It was-
Wasabi isn't hot
Yeah, the
in the
pickle.
same way a pepper is. It's more of like a mustard, astringent
Yeah.
taste. It's not the same
Yeah, wasabi is a
type of
kick.
But
hotness.
you
It's
get
not
that
an oil,
burn,
that's why.
like that.
Yeah, but it's in a different part of your body than like
Pepper's
than
like
peppers.
oils.
But you didn't experience that at all.
But I will with certain. Yeah, okay.
that,
I was
what
just
I'm saying-
hiding it really well. I
What I'm
felt
saying is
it.
that
I felt
horseradish,
it.
mustard, like pull, like behind your sinuses.
I felt it. I just kept it inside. I hid it.
Oh.
It's not like I didn't feel it. I just
Not
wanted
a
to fuck.
superpower.
I wanted
Just
to
a
fuck
superpower.
with you.
Liar.
I wanted to fuck with you.
Oh,
But
so
if-
you're
if
not
I
really
can
able
control
to
it.
turn invisible. You just weren't there. Okay.
Make him eat a pickle.
You're
Fine.
ruining it all.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to ruin it.
Fuck.
All right, so you keep us updated on what you got going on. I'm dying to see what those little fucking amphibian ass cheeks taste like. So, but
You don't know?
we're gonna
That's
do
his
we're gonna do
superpower.
something.
Alliteration.
We're gonna
Yeah.
do something fun today.
The gift of
Hey,
gab.
this episode is also sponsored by Suckadelic Enamel Pins, manufactured by DKE Toys. Right?
Pin game.
Yes.
You hooked me up, and I did good on this. I delivered. Right? These are good,
I
right?
packed that bag for you.
I mean, I questioned some of the designs, but we were only making 100 of each. So I just
Which one
went
did you
with it.
question?
Well, I don't. they-
I'll suck your dick. That's
that-
the one you questioned.
That one was rough. Yeah.
But it sells.
It,
I sell a lot of those.
You know, it shocked me at New York Comic Con this past weekend. They come up to me and they say, "I'll have one of those. I'll suck your dick pins." Like $10, please.
Yeah, it's
I
cool.
think they
So,
were hitting on you.
well, anyway, thanks for making this happen. This was a big success.
Did
I mean,
I
it
say
was
the
a,
word
it was
pin?
an interesting choice on your part
I didn't mean to.
to use your logos and the titles of your work rather than doing something figural. So
Like the images.
yeah, so I think you went. We can still go down that road later, but I thought it was an interesting choice because people, a lot of the people buying the pins, like I think the supervillain and the Gay Empire, a lot of those people don't know who you are, but the sayings and the you know the kind of the branding and the labels kind of transcend. Most of the people don't even know that relates to work that you've done in the past.
Yeah, but that's
They're just
why I
like,
chose
want
to
a
go that
Cosmo
way. It
douche.
just seems like for a pin, if it's so small, it's more like a slogan works better than like some image.
But I
you know,
think
just-
I was going because I packed that bag for you. Went through like the inventory after a con. The best seller was the biggest one with the 2 stormtrooper heads. Am I right?
Mhm.
And that's just because people want something big for their money. They're not really thinking about how cool it will look. I think they just want big 2 stormtrooper helmets A lot of letters. It's big. It's sold.
Hey, well, great. I'm glad everybody's making money. But
Can we see those pins on your website?
yeah, you can, of course they're for sale. Would I bring out a product and extol its virtues if you couldn't fucking buy it?
Oh, I guess you're right. So we can see those on the website.
Yeah, suckadelic.com, the same fucking website you're watching this
Suckadelic.com.
stupid show on.
It's like, right, you can just click that button.
I go on YouTube.
What about your pins, Bill?
You know how to find my store. All right, Dove. We're gonna have some fun.
That's nothing.
What's this? This is a gray T-shirt.
This is one of Dove's
That is
gray
a great
shirts.
T-shirt.
Is this one of Dove's gray T-shirts?
Oh, it is.
Why is it in the box? You giving it to me?
No, it's
Because
my
you're,
shirt.
you're
Halloween's
known
coming
as
up.
gray T-shirt guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a box of bootlegs here, and I figured just for the fun of it, we're gonna
No.
look through these things. You know, it's like I'm gonna take 100% credit for every single thing we're gonna look at. If I didn't do what I did, none of y'all would have fucking done it after me. So you're welcome, and I have a right to judge. Wouldn't you say so, Dove?
I think so, but I also, for the most part, not quite 100%, but just there's a very high percentage of these guys that really, credit you and pay tribute to you.
Yeah, I
and
embrace it.
respect
I
what
embrace
you
it.
do. Where I think in a lot of other disciplines, like people are very resentful, and most of the people are really deferential and appreciate your contribution.
I appreciate that, and it's like sometimes I almost feel like I just like leave it alone and let them do
It
those
is.
things. you know?
It's not. For
I don't have
you-
to participate in it.
No, you don't have to. It just is what it is. Like you made your contribution, and you've actually improved the
That's
qualities.
almost sometimes why I don't want to put my stuff in your booth. It's like I almost feel like, I want to just sort of leave it alone.
Okay, but there's a difference there. If you don't want to do that and you're able to articulate that,
Well,
then
I
you
didn't-
need to say that.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Being-
saying it now.
Being passive aggressive.
Dude, it took
and-
me a while to figure this shit out.
Oh, you figured that out between the time you flaked and now?
No.
You convinced me to sell something at Dove's booth where I wasn't going to, and then you're like, it's a good thing to do and stuff like that.
Maybe. I mean, it was always. I was still a little ambivalent
Look,
about it.
Neil, how's those frog legs going over
Dude,
there?
can we talk here? Don't
It's getting
interrupt.
hot in the kitchen.
Do you have something to contribute? Or are you just gonna make your little quips and
It's a
take
quip.
us off topic and go in one of those bill holes?
He's keeping on page.
You're one of the most parenthetical motherfuckers out there.
Look at
So
that.
let's stay on topic.
So
I mean,
anyway-
Dove
Into
is
it.
telling me where it's at.
The door is always open. If you want to do something, I'm available. If not, I totally understand.
Great.
We have other projects that are
Yes.
in the works that will.
Okay, but that being
Do just fine.
so that being said, though, I feel like I put it on my resume, that I invented a fucking art movement.
I
And-
think that it starts with you. I've yet to find. There were clearly bootleg figures before you. There were clearly customizers before you. I have yet to find an artist. Marcel Zama did release those 6
Yeah.
figures in 2004, and those were injection molded, made in China. There were a lot of them.
They were riffs on Star Wars figures.
Yeah, they were, and so that does predate, your first figure. But I think I can't find anything
But I think
else.
the difference
I don't
is the.
think, I mean, you're gonna
That's
go
not on the
crazy
same
'cause
continuum,
I think there's
though.
probably someone that you don't know.
I'm sure there is, and if you're out
So
there,
don't be
please,
definitive
please,
about it, I
please
feel.
let us know. I'm just saying that I haven't seen it.
I've never seen anything with the. I always feel the figures have been secondary to the humor and the
Yeah.
and the
Absolutely.
commentary and the sarcasm.
I think if I could take credit for anything, it's not even necessarily how the design or anything. I think it was almost the I'm just gonna do this myself shit. It's like I'm going to just take the initiative and create something by myself, and then once that was demonstrated that it was doable.
It was your only option at the time, and
Yeah.
you did it.
Yeah, and it worked out fine. But then it just made it possible, or it was always possible. But I guess someone had to go.
But isn't that what this is right now?
What, this show?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I mean, you experienced all this frustration with all these production companies, with all the after work of art, and you're like, how many production companies did you go through deals with to do shows,
2 or 3.
right? And then I was just bugging you and saying, you need to do a show, do it yourself. And what did you say?
It's really hard, and I gotta fucking get my shit together.
But you did it,
Yeah, I did do it.
so it's happening again.
Hey, Star Wars, man. But that all being said, we have some highly qualified people here today with good opinions, and we're going to review some of these other artists that have emerged in my wake. You're your own thing. You existed on your own thing. You're not part of this. You're not part of this.
Yeah.
You evolved. You're like the dwarves in Lord of the Rings. You just sort of
But
came.
I'm taller than you.
No, but it's more just like they just sort of, the thing with the men and the elves, they were all part of this continuum of design, and then the dwarves just sort of came up by accident or just sort of on some own self-generating shit.
No, I was up.
You're an elf?
No, I'm just saying I was selling toys at Toy Tokyo that I made myself before
Yeah.
in 2001.
Lots of these people
But it just
were.
wasn't
I mean, you
connected.
can't-
The scene hadn't like gelled or whatever. I don't
Yeah,
know.
so, but you still get to pronounce judgments on other artists.
I think everybody does.
Yeah, and we're going to do that now, and you do too. You don't really make toys, but you make art, and you're smart.
You pronounce
You have a
judgment.
good opinions.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that's why you're here. And I'm sorry I didn't have anything for you to do with the last 2 episodes. But without any further goings and a-doings, let's bust out some toys and see what we got. I don't even know what's in this box.
Drum roll.
Broom. First thing that comes up is Killer Bootlegs Star Warhol Brillo Pad box.
I like this series.
Yeah.
He's been doing
So
a couple.
this is a follow-up to the soup can
Right.
that he did the year before.
Okay, I'm gonna be as critical as possible here. It works. The figure itself is well executed. It's nice and clean. It looks tight. It's well done.
Package is openable too.
Yeah, I know the packaging is open. I am not a fan of these clamshells. I appreciate.
I started the clamshell thing.
Me
and as
too.
soon as I could get the fuck away from it, it was just like, have at it.
Something about the way it looks just doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
But I understand the value of taking it out. Okay, now, so it's nice, and I know people love this shit. It's easy for people to understand. It's like you know exactly what this piece is trying to say, which is like, at least my interpretation is like, hey, making resin figures is the new pop art, and pop art is Andy Warhol, so
I don't
hey.
even think it's that. I think it's Star Wars and Andy Warhol.
Okay, Star Wars and Andy Warhol, sure. But I mean, you think Star Warhol. That's the thing that I kind of
Yeah.
don't like about it. I mean, yes, it works because Star Wars, but I've always kind of never liked to go for the on-the-head wordplay. Like, you don't need to tell me it's Warhol or
You
Star
don't need
Wars.
to do that, but other artists, like, that's their
But
thing.
that's why this works, because it's people can figure it out while I'm deliberately trying to be obtuse.
I'm surprised it's not just ubiquitous, that image, because it seems like
Pass this around.
a lot of people would want that. It's not really.
No, it's smart. It's smart. It works, but
Yeah, I mean, to me, it seems like like the Sigmund Freud, like action figure.
yeah.
It's like, oh, they did one of those. Like it feels like that. Like it should be in gift shops and stuff like that.
What do you think, Bill?
I mean, again, I like the Warhol connection. It's fun, like kind of highbrow or whatever. I like the Gonk droid
I love the
aesthetic
Gonk droid. Yeah.
of it. I'm a little tired of.
The soup
I
can.
don't need to
R2D2.
see any more R2D2 things. Knock it off. Knock it off.
Sorry, I just did 2 in the last couple months.
Well, again, it's almost.
beers, right?
Yeah. Well, it's just like, oh god, another R2D2 that looks like some sort of a can. I don't want to criticize that, but I'm just thinking it's like, I don't know. Do I need to see any more Boba Fett, R2D2, Darth Vader riffs? I guess they do really well.
Sure, if it's
They do really well.
Pass
so
that to Jake
people
Corp.
should probably keep making them.
I think this is like something that both things come together, and they're at either side, and you can see both of them at the same time. And that's a very interesting thing to do. I think you can use R2D2 and you can use Boba Fett. You just have to really stitch it together in a way that's a lot more.
Well, it has to work. I mean, you're trying to conflate these two things and show commonality.
You can put, like,
it works in
a
context with the
Rubik's
soup
cube
can.
on top of that, right? You can put an ice cube with a fly
Anything
on top of that.
square.
Stop giving out all these ideas.
Well, I'm just showing how easy it is to have those ideas.
Well, I mean, but I do appreciate that it's developed into a bit of a series, and Star Wars and Warhol's work.
And
there's
it's also
enough
pleasing
there
because
to-
you have the round one,
Yeah.
and then there's a square droid, and it goes with the square thing that
Yeah.
Warhol did. So,
There's like the Coca-Cola bottle that Warhol did.
what do you
This
think,
is-
J Corp?
I think that it's clever. I'm also not a huge fan of like Star Warhol, it just doesn't have the same sound. It's like the letters merge together well, but I think that it's fun to have like a miniature of like a thing that had existed, like that there are multiples of, which is what it's meant to be. And you're like, oh, here's I have like a miniature of a multiple. So it's like, oh well, and then it's been like so many layers through, like Warhol's been referenced so many times. Like, oh, okay, cool. Like I get to have my own little like version of it. And it's
Does the
funny.
Star Wars part of it even resonate with you?
Not much, because it's very much a Brillo box. I think.
Yeah.
And when you throw Warhols out.
And you don't know what the figure, the legs are, right?
No, not really. They look like robot legs to me.
How
Sorry.
important is it to like know all the ingredients in order to appreciate a piece?
I think,
As a
I don't think
conceptual
it's
piece, I don't think
necessary.
it matters.
I think the more you confuse people, even when you put the ingredients right in front of their face, the better off you are. Better off you are not letting them see it right away. I think, just as my approach.
But I mean, you're looking at that thing and saying, "Oh, this is a cool little mini Andy Warhol thing," and the fact that it's a mashup of stars because you're not specifically familiar with the stars reference, that just doesn't even register.
Actually, to appeal to me, I almost wanted to just be a Brillo box and have it be more Warhol than Star Wars.
So you don't even want the legs on it.
No, I mean, I would actually like to have like maybe a box of like 30 of them, you know what I mean? Like a box of 30 of them in a package. Then it's like, oh, okay, that's more Warhol, more Brillo boxy. I'm feeling like the Brillo, like the essence of that piece, the original, the Brillo box is kind of lost by putting legs on them, you know?
It's a pun that you don't even understand the half that makes it the
Exactly.
pun.
So for me, like the imagery would work better, like, as
But
a Brillo box.
Ideally, I mean, it wasn't designed for you, so
Yeah.
No, exactly. No, totally.
it's for someone at a convention.
Or don't.
And for somebody who like really is into both of these, I'm sure it's like jumping out of their seat.
I mean,
I'm
I
almost
think
jumping out of my seat. I got the first one.
The soup can that sold out in one night.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw the look on
what
people.
everyone knows R2D2 though. That's a much more obscure reference from Star Wars.
Now, wasn't the
That
soup can
works
something-
because it's built on something that was already kind of done. Like, right? Like, that wouldn't make as much sense if he hadn't already done the
Yes,
soup
but
can
it
Is
is-
R2D2.
the soup can, or am I wrong?
Yeah, I fucked with that too. I mean, I use R2D2's body
But
for
didn't you have a
can
soup
things.
can thing that Dove was saving at a where? I felt
He
like
did. He did it in the.
the larger scale, 1/6 scale.
You did
The
the.
R5D4 thing.
Yeah, but you did the Darth Vader case. Remember, for Celebration, and inside was a little can with legs on it.
Yeah. It's such an obvious idea.
Well, I just think.
I mean, Too Big had that idea too. Like, everybody that makes designer toy,
If you
resin
want to talk
toys.
about who had the idea first, I mean that doesn't matter because we're talking about bootleggers here. Like,
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it
but I
doesn't
think
matter.
It does matter.
But the thing is, you got to
you
question if
only.
everybody has the
And
same
it matters to
idea.
the
Is it a
person
good
who did
idea?
it first, I feel. Like, I was gonna do a Heisenberg and carbonite because I had that idea on my own. So I thought I did have the idea on my own, but then I searched it and I realized it was something that was already there, and it was just like
That's the thing. But if someone else has done it, maybe it's not that original.
A mashup,
It's not.
A
Well, it
mashup
was
cannot be
original.
owned.
Huh?
A mashup cannot be owned.
I know, but the cred that you have of not
That's not
doing
true.
something.
But I feel what you're saying.
Yeah, my mashups can be owned, I think. I mean, if
But the
Someone
thing
else
is-
didn't add a Adidas shoe. Like, yes, you'd consider it a ripoff, but
Yeah,
they're-
well, I mean, I
It's
guess
also the
own-
rendering and the
well,
execution
okay, I mean,
of it.
I guess what I'm
you
saying
own your
is,
art and what you did.
yeah,
but
yeah. No, I know.
conceptually,
What I'm saying is, I'm talking about like kind of an ownership of you can be the one that did it
Yeah.
Of
first. You
course.
can be recognized. Hopefully, there's honor among
But-
thieves, and people will be like, "Well, so and so already did it." We've all had that experience where, like, apparently we're not large enough to, prevent someone else from taking that idea. And it's
But
like,
are you
oh
the person
damn.
that-
all right.
take-
So Mike Leavitt sent me an email after he sent me a link to his Darth Trump statue that he had at a gallery here in New York.
I do not like the Darth Trump piece. I know you
I knew
sold
it
them
was-
out on the first
I
day.
knew it was gonna sell. Yeah.
I knew it was
Well,
going to
yeah,
sell,
'cause
but
and
I
then he sent me and he said,
don't
"Is
like
this
it.
weird?"
It's like a fried Twinkie. Yeah,
I mean,
it's gonna sell.
and
And Leave It did do it first, right?
probably.
See, what is the
But the thing
point
is,
of
it's
that?
such a common idea. Like,
But
Well,
with
yeah,
Darth-
that's
it's-
why I can't get super upset when
But he
people are
did-
like, "You did that first." It's like, well, I took common
But the
ingredients
thing
off the
is,
shelf.
There's some things that are just so painfully obvious
Yeah.
that, of course, everybody's going to
Yeah.
think of it.
You know that
it's
he-
like if you've done something sort of strange and incongruous and sort of offbeat that shouldn't make sense, but because it's being through your lens, it makes
yeah,
sense.
or there's a
that's
particular
different.
quality
that's more
or the
transparent.
timing,
The
the
Mexican
context,
Captain
yeah.
America existed. Did you ever look?
Yeah, it did. I did look at it, but
He steals stuff from people all the time.
no, I created that
I guess
myself.
I'm
But the
just-
thing is, there's
not a
more
thief.
to
I
it
don't
than
know.
just a Mexican Captain America. It was a Mexican Captain America applied in a particular context
But
that's
the imagery,
designed
the
to make
color,
a
and all that
point.
stuff was there, and I
Yeah,
don't.
but it makes but it wasn't just.
Did you, but my question is, did you see that first?
Yeah. No, I wanted to make.
Did you come up with the idea and then see it, or did you?
Yeah. I
see it and then-
figured like, oh, this is a good idea. I bet I can find an image online to rip off of a Mexican Captain America because I know someone else has done it. But I wasn't just making a Mexican. It's not called Mexican Captain America. It's a Mexican Captain America that's put in a larger framework of context and references that's making a specific point and making a critique of
Yeah.
a particular political statement that's in the current events. So
Like, I'm
it was an
collecting-
application of a stolen Mexican Captain America.
Oh.
I took an archetypical idea and
Alright.
applied it. I didn't just present the
See,
idea as
I
the
see
finished
that
product.
as blatant plagiarism.
No, because
No, I don't.
I
look,
just do. I'm
well,
just saying. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong.
Look,
because
just-
obviously there is no judge.
Look
but,
on the wall.
you know,
There's like a Star Wars Snoopy and a Star Wars Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Right? If you went and did that tomorrow, and as long as you executed it differently, it's like I don't see that as like that concept is Morgan's, and
I think that's why I continue to try to just keep doing different
well,
things. though.
and if you keep doing that, you're gonna eventually box yourself into a corner where there's nothing left to do.
Bill, you have a point?
Well, I just wanted to say, I think everybody has a little bit of leeway to roll with the low-hanging fruit. The Darth Trump is a timely idea. It's not a particularly remote idea that took a lot of mental,
Here's
there
the
wasn't
thing.
a lot of
If you-
meditations
talk about
going into it to
if you're-
develop it. You can arrive at that idea pretty quickly. Same thing with a beer can R2D2, a spray can R2D2, like a Krylon R2D2. I'm not criticizing those as not being worth doing. I'm just saying that the more you do those low-hanging ideas, you just are kind of
You become
just
that guy.
become like this guy that's doing like cover versions. Like we need to have some deeper. And I know
Yeah.
that the entire thing could be thought of as a cover version.
And you know what?
but it's like within the realm. I'm sorry, Joe, but within the realm of like popular music, there are particular modes that are applied to music. There might be like kind of just like a trap hip hop beat mode. There might be, this kind of like retro kind of sound, like a little bit
Humpty
like
Funk.
here's an
Janelle
example.
Monáe or something.
Let's
Oh, I love the quality of this packaging. Anyway, I'm just saying. Look, I'm cool with these ideas. It's just I think when you're on the field, meaning Comic-Con and online and friends of yours doing bootleg toys, you tend to be like in the thick of it. You're seeing a lot of trees for the forest. You're seeing a lot of Boba Fett Stormtrooper, and you get a little fatigued by it. But it's not to say that someone who's like, hey, I'm going to go to Comic-Con. I know there's some cool bootleg toys. And something like a Darth Trump speaks to them and they get it, and I'm cool with that. But
I
I'm
think
just
it
saying,
depends
I
on
ha-
what you do with it.
Of
Yeah.
course, there's also execution, but I had an experience recently where I was on the phone with Dollar Slice, and he said he wants to do a C-3PO penis figure with the Topps card. The actual.
Yeah.
You remember the card that had the penis on it? And a week later, Kill sends me a photo. He's like, "Hey, do you want this for Comic-Con?"
and there's a particular synchronicity going on.
Same
which is-
thing,
yeah.
right? And I'm in a position
Two
where
guys had the same idea at the same time of just basically taking
Not the
something
same
that's already-
time.
Some-
Someone beat somebody.
when they had the idea and when they execute
Yeah,
it
someone beat
That's
are
somebody.
two
really
separate
Always-
things.
that's
So
always
I'm in
the
the
problem,
position
yeah.
where
That's smelling good, Neil.
I can't say anything, right? I need to be quiet
Yeah.
until we release that we're releasing it.
Kind of like what you did when I told you save those R5D4s for me so I can make Campbell soup cans with
Thank
them.
you.
And then a few
Thank
months
you.
later, Killer Bootlegs is selling through your booth the Campbell soup can R2D2, and you didn't say anything. You let that fly.
I can't. What
You
can
can't.
I say?
You can't.
I mean, I did mention it. I believe I did tell him that you had done one. He's like, I know.
Yeah. Who
Well,
cares?
I-
It doesn't matter.
I think that
Let's see who does it
Dove
best.
is in an
Who
interesting
cares?
position
I think
here
only
where
in this room, only David cares.
Yeah, I do care because I think it's the only way we're going to go forward and open
Yeah,
up
but
new things.
it doesn't even apply to you
Because
because
why
you-
doesn't Healy make his soup can? Because I'll have all my
you-
audience.
Hold on, you
You know,
can.
I don't want to.
But that's right. That's why it doesn't apply to you because you would never do like a mashup gag.
There's gags.
Okay,
there's-
can we go back to?
Okay,
Can we
go,
look at
go,
another
go.
figure? This is another one that we have, which is well executed. It's
Very
called
much.
Hobo Fett. It's from the Pimp 2 D2's Big Score collection, which
Right.
is a lot of figures, which basically just mashes up Star Wars with pimp stuff.
No, but there's a movie poster that it's based on.
So Jason Chalker, Manly Art, he actually got a jump on everyone else as far as the New York Comic Con scene because he released Pimp 2D2 3 or 4 years ago, and then followed it up with C3PO and I forgot the R5D4, and then he actually bought vintage
Pass
land
this around.
speeders
Yeah,
and customized
Yeah,
vintage land speeders, poured resin to make new velour seats, and really did them
He's
up.
making a series that for a reason.
It's a series,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautifully made. I like the reference to the original Boba Fett colors. You know.
And the painting, he's also a painter. I bought the original art for that.
Oh, nice.
It's really good
And he's
too
actually
because
washing the
Yeah.
land speeder
you
with
could
it.
do something called Hobo Fett because the name is kind of punny, and you could cover the figure in newspapers.
I don't like it.
No, but look what we did with the rocket fire. He put like the squeak, like he really worked.
Yeah, but
with
so
the
what?
two-
Why? Who cares?
Because some people just think, switch the head, make the name two names,
I'll
and
tell
we're
you
good.
why.
Like he
Why
went
is that-
deeper into it.
Because everyone caters to a different audience, and the people buying this are not necessarily your fans, right? Everything it's not like a zero-sum game. You do your art, and it appeals rather to some people, and he's got his thing and appeals to a different crowd. And
So that means I can't be critical of it?
do whatever you want.
Yeah, no,
Well,
I mean,
Doug
I
is
like the
Doug
guy.
is
I
in
think
a
it's
position.
cool.
He's in a different position from all of us, where he's the end game for a lot of these products. You benefit based on the wants of the consumer, and it's like it's okay with you.
He's
if
already
something,
played it.
you know.
Shit.
That's
Like you don't have a particular like you're
I'm gonna
looking
need those back.
if something crosses the finish line, you're going to be selling that. There might be points where you're like, well, I got somebody else working on something kind of similar, so
I
I'm
have
going
to be
turn
careful.
that down.
you know.
I know I'm not going to I'm not
but
going to
I
make you
also-
answer
What-
these
what do you
questions.
think
I'm just
of that,
saying.
But
Jake?
I also
Corp.
don't get involved in any petty squabbles. Like, I did this first, you ripped me off.
It's not
Yeah.
you.
Oh, we
It's not you,
discussed
I'm
that. I
sorry.
mean, those people are going to do that all the time. But
But
that's not
that-
just in this game.
Particularly with these ingredients, there's going to be a lot of
Immediately-
common ideas.
You know, after
Yeah.
that
like
Saturday
fish
Night
balls,
Live
that's
skit
perfect.
Right.
with the
The radar, the Adam Driver. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why everybody came up with that. That's why I think doing shit like that is a mistake, because if everyone can have the same idea and do the same thing, then like where are you in that? Like
Yeah,
I could
that's-
put
that's
out a
what I'm saying,
figure
the
that's a
low-hanging
perfect
fruit,
representation,
you know.
get the joke, but me as an individual creator, I don't really, my voice isn't coming through here, and that's why that's why I think these things are kind of
So,
not all of
pass
them.
them around, these plates around. But,
Who wants
yo,
frog's legs? You guys?
They had like the texture of fish, so they started falling apart.
Oh really?
Yeah, so-
Pass them around. Do we need a fork to eat this?
Suck it right
I
off
got,
the
I
Do
got
we
6,
have
well, 5.
fillet forks? No.
What do you think of that?
I'm so excited.
What do you think about the
But I
hobo
tried to-
fett?
Dove, are you comfortable eating this?
These don't
gonna
look
pass.
nearly as
He's gonna
gross.
pass.
Yeah,
All right.
how many we?
You going in, Bill?
I'm gonna go in.
Nice.
It looks fucking great. It looks like small little buffalo wings.
Here.
That's what I said.
That's what I'm pretending they are as I put one in my mouth.
Okay.
Well, again, I'm just gonna say my own personal thought on it is that if you go to that low-hanging fruit too
There's
often,
going to be other people going
you're
for it.
just like, well, I hope you're ready to, see other people doing a similar thing.
But
You
there
know.
are some people that's where they are in their career,
Yeah.
and that's how they get their foot in the
I'm
door.
still there. I'm always there.
Well, I mean, Morgan got his foot in the door by doing a Stormtrooper and a Boba Fett.
Yeah.
No, I
Okay.
didn't.
Absolutely.
Want to pass demo?
The difference is,
if you had done a gay
Fantastic
Empire
movie.
figure,
Who did that?
Anyone else?
Oh.
Anyone else?
pass those napkins.
On that note,
These are
Okay.
delicious. I'll tell you
It's
why.
fantastic. It's a little,
The Sucklord figure is different than the Hobo Fett. I'm not knocking the Hobo Fett. It's nice. It's well executed.
This is similar to you though, because he's
it's
he's
not.
building a universe.
I don't think it is.
But it's not. No, it's not. Because at the end of the day, the reason why it's Hobo Fett is because the word hobo sounds like boba, and it's a convenient thing. Like the onomatopoeic quality of it, or like the rhyming.
What about
quality.
C-3PO?
You feel
I
like
think
you-
that's
like you-
funny.
Like,
Like
there's
he-
nothing
like he
hobo-ish about it. There's no
created,
reason to make a bum Boba Fett other than like you can. It has a sort of like a rhyming character to
All
it.
right,
But
next
that-
one. Let's review.
But
that
it's
one.
still dependent on it's Boba Fett plus a bum hobo Fett. Cool if you think that's funny and it's in the realm of pimps and street shit that this guy's created. Cool, it looks great. I'm not knocking. But
If
the
I have
difference
any-
is
Go ahead.
you take a Boba Fett helmet and you put it on like a Count Dooku body. It's not Dooku Fett or like Boba Dooku. It's the Sucklord. It's something It's
Your
something,
mashup is the figure as a whole, and the story is what matches
but it doesn't.
them together.
It's not Boba Fett anymore.
I'm sorry.
about
You are still drawing on Star Wars tropes that people understand as the entry
But I'm
point to your work.
but it's transformational. Is that I'm turning it into something that's specific to me and my.
Of course,
story
you're
and
not.
my world.
Of course, you're not
David, would you like to try
turning the
this?
Boba Fett
Really?
into a
It's-
hobo.
it's-
You're turning it into what you turn it into.
I'm turning it into me.
Fine.
That's different.
You turning it into a you is not a criticism of somebody else.
No, I'm just trying to say that's what makes mine superior.
I
Next
love
figure.
I love the execution of that figure. I would say I wish it had a little more hobo-ness to it. That's the only thing.
I don't see any reason for it to
like some
exist at all, and I love
newspapers
the
or
guy
maybe
that
a
makes it, and I
garbage
think
bag,
his
but I
shit
think
looks
that's
great, but-
it's fantastic.
We sold out.
I think it's
Thank you very
purposes.
much.
Yeah,
Okay,
no, I'm
which
glad.
is basically where
Because
Dove.
people are
That's where Dove likes to end it. It's sold out,
Okay.
and so
Here's one that I really
know,
like. Actually. Oh
it's
shit!
just really all that matters to Dove.
This is the Star Rockers, which does anybody even know what this is?
That's from Alien Robot Monster.
I mean, beautiful execution.
So that is based on like a 50s or 60s creature. I wish I knew exactly the date. From a kind of a Buck Rogers series, and he replaced
A laser
the-
gun with a flying V.
The gun with a guitar.
Yeah.
then you
And
can
made
see
it
the
big,
Buck
right?
Rogers
Oh, okay,
character
cool.
on the back.
He's
And
a
that's a series
singer,
also?
and yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, what I like about this figure is that it actually stands out in the way that it has kind of. I mean, literally, it's like mildly different scale,
That's a good application of
and
the
it's
clamshell.
got a beautiful finish, which you don't see.
But it looks like an old Mark
It
figure.
looks like an old figure. It's really nice.
I don't know why I like that one so much more than the him to D2 because they're in a way kind of like going for the same thing, aren't they?
Well,
because it's art.
Why is that one art and the other one not?
They're both art.
Are they?
One you just like, and the other one you do
But
not.
why?
But I haven't seen one quite like this. I think that's why it's kind of appealing to me at the moment. Like, oh wow, like nice size, nice scale.
This is nice. I have the original of this, and I didn't even realize that they had changed something. And yeah,
Do you need to know what that thing is to appreciate that piece?
yeah. I'm sure if I had them all together, it would be pretty cool looking. And then it's like the little the Beatles like injection molded things because they're all one color. I get it. This is like a stylish.
It's
kind of piece.
a throwback.
Yeah. What is the real one holding a gun?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think you need to know that it was a thing to like that.
But I haven't
it's
had
not
it.
dependent
I don't even
on
think it
reference.
needs the Star Wars.
No,
angle.
yeah.
Well, it has
I-
that in itself.
And the
because
original is this color too.
I think it came in different colors.
Yeah, I have one that's the same color. It's weird.
But the Buck Rogers looking guy in the back with the microphone is. That's I think the next one. So
And that's one that exists.
not yet.
Okay.
Do you feel that needs the Star Wars angle?
Neil, these frog legs are great. Can I have some more?
From a sales perspective, if
Are
it
they
has
more?
Star
That's
Wars,
what I'm curious
if
about.
it has a Star Wars reference, it's more likely to sell.
To Dove?
I can, yeah. I mean,
I'm not pushing the Star Wars angle. This
No, yeah.
show was like so Star Wars heavy.
But I mean, this is in your collection because of the font.
But my collection is a different purpose altogether.
Okay.
Where's the garbage?
I'm generally.
I'm not trying to pin you down though. I'm just saying,
No,
like,
I'm-
do you think, I mean, it's a pretty cool piece without that even.
Yeah.
I really like,
It's not for me to say.
I'm reminded of the painting of.
All right. Let's talk about the
like
frog's
Han
legs for a hot
Solo
minute.
and
All right, we
everyone.
got to switch gears.
Okay, let's move to
We
the
could
next.
talk about this shit until our dicks turn inside out, and
What's
we're going
next?
to. What's up with the frog's legs? What'd you think, J. Corp?
Wow.
They're fucking delicious. Seriously, like, so they're kind of like he described a little bit earlier. The consistency is like between a fish and chicken.
Yeah, that's what I was
And if you think
thinking.
about like the creature, I mean, like that makes a lot of sense.
They kind of fly, they kind of swim.
They look like fish.
It is in
and chicken.
between.
Yeah.
It's in between. I thought they were going to be slimy and gross, but it was right. It kind of
And then it
Fell
fell off the bone, like
Yeah,
just like that.
and it's great
Well,
with
French
the.
people
It does
you
have
know.
kind of a springy like some.
You ate it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it does have that fish consistency of kind of a. I don't want to say gamey.
The way the
but it
meat
has a little bit
separates
of
is a little fishy.
A little snapback on it.
Yeah.
It's good,
And it's
and
good
the
because
preparation
it's
was
not
great
like
too.
all deep fried and annoying. It's like nicely breaded. You did a really good job
I'm
there.
a little offended
Thanks,
by
man.
those who are not trying it because you're
Yeah.
basically just.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like frogs. I always used to catch them. I killed
I-
them.
I
killed
like them
by
too,
accident.
Yeah, I know. This was hard for you, right?
Yeah.
I killed them by accident as a child.
Oh
No, but the
Like
tomatoes,
Gilbert
the
Grape
tomatoes
scene.
is good. You can't really-
I love
I
frogs,
left it in the can.
turtles, all that shit.
We're gonna force you to cook a turtle.
You fucking.
I've never
wish.
had turtle meat.
Me neither. I've never got it. That's one thing I've never got.
Oh, that sounds sad.
Yeah.
Some things you got to draw the line. You know.
What was your? How did you feel cooking with the frog's legs?
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to be a gourmet, 20-star gourmet chef. you know,
20
so-
Okay, and you got to start somewhere.
Well, I gotta try out things. You know.
I got to
Is that a
start
Yelp
somewhere.
rating? Is that a Yelp rating?
Is this something that you would think you would put into your repertoire?
Michelin.
Or let's look at something totally different.
Drum roll.
Bada boom. The Mavi Kram
Zap it
Uze
down.
by Rika, right?
Yeah, some British street artist.
British street artist. A silk screen, hand silk screen thing, and a nice metallic figure.
Beautifully die
card.
cut.
Riffing on the blue
star.
stars without hitting you on the head with it. You know, like if you know what the Uze blue star is, then you get it. If not, well, it's just here's the thing. I think this is excellent just for the quality of it. The thick card and the silk screen and the metallic figure. And what I really like about this is like you don't really, it's not hitting you over the head with like any particular statement. You
It's
know,
nice on the eyes.
it's nice on the eyes, but it's
Yeah.
not. It's inviting you to just look at it and just sort of contemplate it without just hitting you right on the head with like, it's this plus this equals this. Get it? Like
It's a mystery. What
It's
the hell is
mysterious.
Mavi?
Yeah.
Chrome? I mean,
Yeah, I
what
don't
is
know
that?
what it
Yeah.
is, and I
but
don't.
it looks good.
Yeah, but you don't need to know what it
Looks
is, and
great.
it's like
It's
you know.
vague.
Of course, the Star Wars thing always works because we love these forms so much, and I think just a big part of it is we just love seeing all these variations on that form. You know, and just I think it's cool to like sort of take the snow trooper and just sort of take it out of its element. He's not calling it a snow trooper. He's sort
Yeah.
of taking it out of a familiar place and put it somewhere differently. And I can just look at it and appreciate
Well,
it aesthetically
also
without
it's
having to get a
exploring-
joke. You
yeah,
know?
and it's actually Healy's gonna hate this though. I'm telling you that. It's moving into like I love seeing production techniques begin to get explored, and
What, the
Healy
chrome
of
and
course
shit?
has been doing chrome. It's an upcoming like nice touch that we're seeing on stuff.
He also uses an open mold with flat
Yeah,
backs
flat
on the
back.
figures.
How do those sell?
That is cool.
Do those sell good?
Yeah.
Because why
He's
not?
really prolific.
Actually,
Yeah.
That
This
looks
is a
pretty
really
cool.
weird one. Railroad Man by something called Patel Products.
So
and it's
I
like a
found
bum
that-
sleeping in a...
Absolutely.
I like the
bizarre.
way this is amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I bought one of those for myself. It's kind of the figure for the guy who's got everything.
Yeah.
I just thought it was so
The
like,
man who has nothing.
I thought it was so
creative.
like next level.
Yeah.
And
What makes that next level?
I don't know.
Because
it's like
they're
it's
taking a chance with it.
it's
and
a
they're
GI
just-
Joe body, and you're just gonna.
and I
make
gotta
a
say,
hobo.
the-
it's like the anti.
What's with... We've got
You
two
may not be
hobo
able to
figures.
see it.
What's
You
up
may
with
not be
that?
able to see it, but the blister pack is.
It's a vac form
it's a
beer
vac
can.
form
But
beer
not,
can.
Not
half.
only that, that's at like a 10 or 12 color silk screen.
That's clever.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful
And he only
silk
wants-
screen
So I
package.
bought one for myself, and then I emailed them. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Do you have any extras?" This was not an exclusive. I just said, "Do you want? I'll buy the rest of the run."
Well,
And they were very
again,
excited.
I love to see the alternate packaging and the exploration of the technique of the packaging.
Lack
to me,
of
it's always
pun.
been about the packaging, even for the Sucklord's earliest
Yeah, the-
figures. For me, it's always been the humor of the packaging, and
This is price tag.
and I just and it looks like there's just like a goofy like
And
awesome.
it's
for
bold
sale.
because it's not riffing on Star Wars.
No,
it's not playing on anything.
No, here it is.
The
Railroad
format is
Man.
really great because it's like that card size looks like a weird one you'd see in like a Chinese knockoff shop.
Or
Like,
even like if you end up at the airport in Solvang or something. Not Solvang,
And I-
sorry, that's in
I
California.
believe the
But-
resin
Yeah.
is that kind where you, if you put it in water, he'll turn beet red
Okay.
for more
so it's
hobo,
thermoreactive. Yeah.
Drunk effect.
Yeah, it's weird enough, and there's no puns on it, and I love it.
Yeah, that's what I like about it.
Yeah,
The pun is that it's a figure.
Well, the
That's,
the
you know.
joke is like
it's,
you
a,
know,
the pun
it's
is
more
that-
ironic
that
than
it's a
pun.
figure of a hobo.
It's like we always like put these other characters like on a pedestal, like these heroes and these villains, and now it's like
I mean,
Okay.
but I think that's what makes a lot of these figures work. Is the irony is like this is something that would never be a figure, and here it is as a figure. Get it?
Yeah.
That's kind of my shtick. What do you think, J. Corp?
I love the clearance sale sticker.
Yeah.
It's goofy, but also I love that like there's all the details are in there. There's like this whole thing is custom. This thing is custom, and like all the artwork in the back looks great. Like it's really really well made.
Nothing is off on it.
I
Nothing
can't
is
believe
off.
it's only $45. Okay, here's another one by Special Ed Toys. I find your lack of faith disturbing.
This is great, and this actually,
This is
a
another
lot
one
of
that I
people
hate.
aren't going to get this unless you've been at San Diego
if you-
Comic-Con
If you're in San Diego, there are these.
as you're walking into the convention center.
There
Protesters,
are these
religious
protesters
protesters.
who feel that if you're reading Harry Potter or watching Star Wars films, that you're going to hell.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
And
fake
you are.
demagoguery.
And-
yeah.
And 1 year, and they have signs, same format, this yellow with the black, and they say, whatever the Bible verse is. And 1 year there was this
And they've got speakers.
stormtrooper who showed up there to protest the protesters, and special
yeah. The
ed.
Westboro Baptist Church came one year,
Yeah.
and
There's all sorts of crazies, and they made this figure, and we sold out. I think the first day. This was the second edition he did for Decon. He changed the
Oh, okay.
badge from a STC badge.
Oh,
a
to
Decon
yeah.
badge.
I have the original one. I really liked this one just because it just hit me like, wow. I love it. Again, it's like you're kind of
The price tag
outside
is-
of the.
It's kind of next level. Like the
yeah.
first one had a Toys R Us, and version 2 had the KB
Okay,
version.
right, nice.
Yeah.
KB, nice. Well, and the execution is nice.
I don't know. I
It just says
think
nothing
the
about
idea is
it.
funny. I think you kind of have to get a lot of shit to understand it. I
If
don't
you
know.
go to San Diego every year, and
It's a souvenir shop purchase for someone that knows San Diego. It
I
says
would have
nothing
just
about
liked
the
to
person that
seen
makes it,
like
kind of.
a different image. I
I
think
think it's
like
great. I don't think it
I
has
think it
to
works.
say. I mean,
It's
but
the Sigmund Freud figure of the San Diego Comic Con. Where you're like, oh, I got it. It's not an expression.
I don't know about
It's a
that.
s-
I think you may not think it's an
It's a
expression.
statement. I think
it's historical.
It's a statement, but I don't think the person's really
History
like.
of
they're
the
just,
movement.
they're not expressing. It's not like an artistic thing. It's more of a statement about something.
it's
That
it's representational.
So this one's a small edition. I think it's
Less than Blackula Calrissian.
it for the generation of people who are buying the toys. This completely misses the mark as for generationally. I think it's a fantastic figure. It's a small edition of 10.
Is this a
but
newer
the
artist?
people who are Blackula fans are a little bit older.
Blackula came out before Star Wars, even.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got to find somebody
So
who
the
was
young-
like really into renting
younger-
videotapes from Vidiot.
Right. The younger crowd
in
is
Santa
not.
Monica.
Is
and-
this person?
yeah,
How many in is this person?
That's
who
it's
made
a
this?
lot to ask. I actually enjoy the Photoshop of Billy D. Williams' face over the Prince record cover more than I enjoy.
It would have been
but I
funny if
do
they
like-
put Billy D. Williams' face on the Blackula character instead of just putting straight Blackula
Yeah, I mean
there.
it's a little.
Well,
It's
the
tr-
head is straight Blackula, so it
I don't know.
matches
If you're
the
gonna
figure.
mash it up, I think you need to.
Yeah,
you need
I mean,
to blend
we
more.
might have needed a little more. And it
I need
wouldn't have
more
been
Lando
hard.
in there.
It wouldn't have, yeah, and that's the recipe. It's like
Is this like?
I don't
I
want
mean,
to
again,
criticize.
it's- again-
I don't want to criticize someone because
No,
you're
I'm
doing
not
your thing.
criticizing.
Or they do
Yeah.
other stuff.
But again, it's just like
think
there
they did one or
doesn't
two
seem
things
to. A
before.
lot of
Yeah, it
these
seems
things,
like
what
it
I
really
don't
did.
like about these things is it's like, and I'm not saying I'm always successful at this. It's a lot of like 1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah.
And like it's really 1
that's
+ 1
okay
=
for some
3.
people.
No, 1
but that's
+
what
1
makes it
= 1,
transformational
man.
work.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like,
that's a good way to think of it. I totally
You know what?
understand that.
Not everyone can be you.
I'm not asking
There
them
is-
to be, but we need to talk about something. And we need to have opinions for the next 15 minutes. And I'm just telling you, like, if I was going to rate this work, which is what I'm doing, that's part of my criteria.
I see.
I mean,
I
look
know
at
you're
this,
you like to get along. It's in your interest to get along with everybody that does this shit, and you don't need to have.
I guess
a
what I'm
critical
trying to
opinion.
tell you is that people like them for different reasons.
Right.
There are art toy people that come and shop from us. There are also people who collect vintage figures or collect Star Wars bootlegs.
Vintage looking things.
Well,
who
Doug,
like
but let's
that.
look at this for a second. I that's been sitting on deck for a few minutes, and I was like, oh, there's a Blackula figure. I couldn't see at like 1 or 2 paces that it had anything to do with Lando Calrissian, and I'm kind of like, I don't know, man. I feel like the Lando Calrissian portion of the ingredient. I mean, if I have to use some sort of appropriate metaphor of like mixing chocolate into milk to make it a perfect blend,
Right.
there's just not enough chocolate.
I
in
just
that
feel
one.
like sometimes it's more it's kind of more exciting if you add a third element. It's like, here's
Hey.
Blackula Lando Calrissian, but here he is someplace. Like, I put Blackula Calrissian somewhere, and that creates
mean,
a slight...
I don't
You're
even think it
erasing
needs
both
that.
elements and just
That's
coming
what
up with
you
one
do.
element. Yeah,
That's what
my
you
thing.
do.
Yeah.
You're
I-
like more reductive in your approach.
Yeah.
You know, where you specifically don't call upon the references. You try to,
I try to
make them
blur
go
them,
away.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so then this one is gonna work for everybody. This is the Mr. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, and it's basically a Mr. T.
It's Mr. TMNT.
Mr. TMNT, and this is by Dead Greedy, who's my favorite guy of all time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he gives me $100 a month. And I like it. This actually, I've never really seen. This is not my favorite thing of his. He does go for these rhymey things, which I'm not necessarily a fan of. But okay, it's cute and it's well done. And I'm not going to diss him too hard. And there's his picture on the back.
You don't want to lose that $100.
No, it's cool. You know, I'm not a big 2 + 2, 1 + 1 = 1, and especially if you're just calling on. Like, if it just rhymes, or just like a common
it's
letter.
fun, and I think this is something if you're a toy collector nut, and your friends come over, and they're wondering what all these things are on your shelf. They're not familiar with this sort of thing, and they see this. It's pretty
gonna
easy
get
to
a
get.
laugh, yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Mr. T?
Do those
Which
sell
to me
good?
is kind of like,
Do they sell
again, we're
This
going
is,
for
this
like
is actually
a,
the 4th version. 2 years ago at Comic-Con, he made 25 pieces.
And they all sell?
First day.
Good for him.
But you know what I
Maybe
like about
there's
this?
something wrong with
I like
me.
the scale
There's nothing
of it.
wrong with you.
Morgan,
You have to keep doing what
you
you're
make
doing.
art, Morgan, and you have to realize that a lot of your audience that
You
may be
can't
buying this stuff
be you
now,
can't be the
they just
singular
want
answer
figures.
for everyone.
Yeah.
No, but I guess for me,
no,
the
and
reason why I
know.
do this in the first place, it's not because I'm not trying to bash anybody. Just because something doesn't connect for me, it doesn't mean I don't see the value in it. I guess for my own process, I like to try to understand why does this piece work for me, and why does this piece work for me, and like, am I, how does that,
I mean,
and it's
for
just
me,
like,
it comes down to
sometimes I
some
have to ask
low-hanging
myself,
fruit.
maybe I am being too
It
close-minded.
comes down to me for some,
To a eclectic.
to some low-hanging fruit, and it's like, okay, you better be pretty clever if you're going to go that commonly traveled path. So I'm not trying to be critical, but
There's
I'm like,
2 figures there. from
Okay.
Jim
Uh-oh.
Food.
This one,
We got a double.
These are kind of fun. The Wookiee Hash Pipe by Jim Food.
So the Dose Vapors was the first one. He actually did a whole comic story on the back. And episode 1 is Dose Vapors, and the second one is
Yeah, now these are pretty cool. These are
Luce
great.
Skytoker.
This works
I mean,
for
it's
me
like a cool
because
piece, yeah.
he's already has such an established style and
Sure.
an impression, and just like you look at his drawings and you know it's his. So if he's gonna take Star Wars shit, he's gonna put it in his own universe, and that's what I like about this. Is like, yeah, it's a Darth Vader, but it's so been transformed by his own flavor that it really becomes its own thing.
It's similar to your figures, where your figures are because of your movie, like those figures are because of his comic.
His storyline, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think the next one's going to be Bong Solo.
Yeah, I
else
mean,
does
again,
that a
I don't
little
like
bit,
the
I think.
goofy lames, but
Occasionally I do that.
they're still pretty cool.
And these were sculpted by George Gaspar.
Yeah, I mean, those are all original sculpts
The
too,
monochrome
which
sculpts
is something
are
else.
incredible on that.
So I'm gonna give Jim a food
Yeah,
credit
these-
for that
these
because
are
they're really
fantastic.
well made.
These are fantastic, and again, what you're saying, it's difficult to see probably in this video, but they're
We're gonna have photos of all
they're
these.
sculpted off of the drawings to give it like a super unique.
Yeah, that's what's
Yeah.
really cool about it. Is like you're
Yeah.
starting with the illustration,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then extracting the figure.
It's like
from
a
it.
lot of like
I
designer
kinda-
vinyl. They're all painters and stuff.
Yeah, too bad we don't have any Bill
What's that?
McMullen toys
I
to
know.
review.
But
Why don't we
Bill
have
McMullen
those?
rarely makes anything. Yeah,
That's a shame.
it is. It is.
Okay, we got a couple more, and then we're almost done. Here is the other one is called Jedi Master Yoga, and it's Yoda
amazing.
doing yoga. And then there's is this who's this guy from Street Fighter with the long arms? Is that
Dahlazim.
Dahlazim.
He's down there saying relax, it's just a bootleg. Well, I am relaxed, motherfucker. Don't tell me how to react to your piece. If I want to relax, I'm relaxing. And if I'm not, and this piece has obviously got me agitated for some reason.
By an
So is
artist
there
named
graffiti
Jedi
thing?
Master J.
Jedi Master J. Okay, I get it.
I think he's in Australia.
Okay, well, I don't want to criticize the poor fellow. Again,
That's not a criticism.
Again, I gotta say,
Just make 'em
unfortunately,
wonder.
it's just like let me just make a completely meaningless play on words. Like Yoda sounds like yoga, so haha, Yoda doing yoga. Get it?
Hobo,
And there's no
bobo.
comment about Yoda or yoga or why you would do that other than the words rhyme. And it's
Well,
okay, but it's like
in a
give
way,
me a little more.
Yoda was sort of on a transcendental level.
Yeah,
you know.
true enough.
And I
but
appreciate.
do you have to hit
the
it on the head
snake.
like that?
Wait, Yoda's witness. Was that something? Can I
That's
get that? Can I get that?
You just made that up?
Yeah, dude. It's kind of easy.
Okay, so tell me, do you prefer this? So this is dollar
I mean,
slice.
it's pretty cool. I
Let's-
appreciate
let's not
the
finish with this.
execution, and it's got the cutest little blister car. Little blister.
It is. I like the shape
It's
of it.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it's great.
Yeah.
I don't think it's great. Keep trying, buddy.
Oh, he's doing a pose.
Yeah, so he's doing a.
The
is that a
figure
downward
itself
facing-
is
no,
kind
not
of
downward
interesting.
facing.
The
The
figure,
artwork
I
doesn't
think
match
the,
up
the
at
I
all.
think the graphics on the card are just like it's too easy to just rip on the Star Wars, the vintage Star Wars logo. It's like it's kind of like it's more low hanging fruit. It needs a little more. Keep walking. All right, dollar slice bootlegs, Watcher in the Woods, and I don't know what the fuck this thing is.
Look at the back. The back is so frightening. It's just like bodies hanging
Just
from a tree.
yeah, bodies with no arms, legs, or head hanging. And it's like, is he real? You'll only see him in your selfie when it's too late. Your yoga pose will be totes ruined by having your nose torn off and shoved in your ass.
Yoga-
There you go.
Watcher in the Woods
yoga
will snap
pose.
your narcissistic neck as you Snapchat your supreme swag. Okay, so I guess I feel criticized by this piece. I feel
Me too.
like this piece
Yeah,
is.
like, do we need to go in on the social media people and selfies and
it's
stuff?
a-
Whatever.
I mean,
Have you
it's
looked at
timely.
His
It's
girlfriend's work
timely.
is
The
incredible.
figure is
It's
funny.
timely, but I love the
It's
figure,
funny. I mean,
and-
he doesn't. I mean, this is one of the guys that really dialed into the fuck you aspect of bootlegs. You know, it's
I think that's like the owl from Bambi.
Yeah.
And like two
With
one
two
And it's a
one
movie
Bs.
that- oh, it's a Disney movie. You're saying,
I
right?
think so.
The back is
and
just
it's got
like
red
oh
paint
my
splatter
God.
all over.
Okay,
it.
but
Yeah.
here's, as far as I can tell, this is created just out of his own imagination.
Yeah, that's why it's cool.
Got it.
Yeah, it looks like an acid trip. kinda.
Yeah, it's weird.
yeah.
It's weird, and it fits his vibe.
It's a great figure.
It's super violent.
Magnet
Like,
articulated.
unnecessarily.
How do
That's
those
cool.
sell?
Actually, not as well because
So we
it's
have
not
kind
a
of
strong Star
we have
Wars
kind
reference.
of a Micronuts type vibe.
Take
there.
the arms
Still
off.
still don't like the
And we've got
clamshells.
magnetic.
Yeah.
things
If
here.
like you're gonna,
Pretty
the
cool.
clamshell
believe they're
works
still
if you're
going
gonna
with the
make
clamshell.
something designed for a clamshell toy. Like the Star Rockers works because it's central, but with the clamshells that try to mimic the classic
Those are
carded
for
boot, like just
selling-
carded on a regular
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
Don't I don't need to
It's a
stick your
lot of
figure
work
up
to
my
put
ass.
magnets.
Yeah, no, this
It's
is
my fault, the
fantastic.
clamshell.
I mean, this
Yeah.
is great,
But
and
technically,
I
Tom-
I'm
Yeah, that
always-
figure's magnetic. All the
I'm
joints
also-
are magnetic.
Yeah, it's a little like what were the like Baron?
Give these things to
Yeah,
me.
like
What
that's
were the
what you-
Micronauts magnet ones? Like Baron.
Baron Karza and
Baron
Force Cutter. Yeah, those are
Karza, yeah.
those are brilliant.
Yeah.
Neil, do you have any opinions on
And,
any of the
and I
toys
do
we saw
also
today?
like the.
Say it again?
Do you have any opinions
like
on any
this
of the
guy's
stuff we
stuff.
looked at tonight?
I like the way that one looks.
That's it. You don't have a broader
I don't
comment.
know, yo, I'm enjoying these.
He's like
Frog
in
legs
another
so
place.
much.
They're incredible.
Yo, these
Okay.
might be my favorite thing I cooked on any episode.
They are fantastic.
Better than the pancakes. Next time you're gonna do the pancakes with the frog leg.
with the frog.
Like frog legs.
Or how about frog legs and waffles?
How about let's go?
You want to fuck with
Yeah.
that? Okay. Now here we have
Oh,
the
boy.
last piece before we close. Gay Empire 10th Anniversary Homo Trooper by Suckadelic,
Sucks.
which appears to be a pink stormtrooper, but he doesn't have a shirt on, and he has kind of a big cock. And
Hated it.
It says gay on it, and it's the 10th anniversary, as if
And
as if
opinions
I'm
like an
supposed to
asshole.
care.
It was
And
the
then on
brightest
back-
figure there.
On the
but-
back of the card, there's these weird kind of blurry images of is that Wonder Woman? And I don't get this.
This is going nowhere.
Is
What do
this you who made this? Or
what do
is
you think
the
of
other
this?
side?
What do you think
What
of
do we
this
think
figure?
of this one?
What do you think of that one?
Well,
Hold that up to the same criteria that I threw at all these other figures.
the great thing about this, and what I point out to people all the time when they say like, "Well, how do you do this?" and what, and I just point to this and I tell them, "This is the 10th anniversary. Like we've been selling this figure. You've been selling this figure for 10 years. And if you can see, it has gold trim. I think that's quite
yeah.
an accomplishment."
Shouldn't
It
you
is.
save the gold for the 50s?
I mean, what am I supposed to say to this? You're sitting right there.
Say whatever you want. Hold it to the criteria that I just eviscerated
Is
everything
this
else
guy
on.
still doing this? He's spinning his wheels like this still?
In order
No,
to
this-
appreciate that, you have
it's-
to see it for the first time.
Again, there's a particular context to this that unfortunately, it's right there in front of us. 10th anniversary. It reminds you of how critical and how important this idea was at the time. When you were first introducing these, I think it was about the time Don't Ask, Don't Tell was kind of being really held up to scrutiny.
Potentially.
And you had put forth, as you often do in your work, you put forth kind of a, like a little like a catch-22, the book type situation where it's like, well, that's an interesting thing. Oh, wait, it's really about that? Wow, that's pretty cool. And I think it's always been a really powerful part of your work. And for those that might think this is the same, actually, he's got like a particularly, he's really gone for like a real like bear type, built out, bulked out vibe here.
Bears
right?
are more
protein
like
shake.
fat and
right,
hairy.
sorry, but he's kind of got like this like protein workout vibe. Maybe not too many leg days, but a lot of upper body strength. Shirtless, armorless stormtrooper. It's a nice evolution of the original. I
Thanks,
will add this to
Bill.
my collection.
Great. You have the very first psychedelic figure I ever created.
I do. It was when you
The
were
Morgue
starting.
figure.
It was when you were starting to develop the idea of. And again,
I was
like
coming
you
off
were
feeling
saying-
burnt out from that JK
I love the
fashion.
bow tie. I love how
that
the
was
bow
Dove's
tie is
idea.
still underneath there.
It was his idea to
It's
make
got a
it
little
Chippendales. I
Chippendale
never got the
vibe.
Chippendales joke, but he
You
liked
can't
it, so I
even
put
tell.
it
It's
in.
really barely
Well,
shows
but
up.
to be shirtless, because the very first one was just a plain, Power of the Force stormtrooper.
Okay.
And so
It did have the big dick.
It did.
There was actually a
But then I was
modified
like,
cock.
why is
I
he
remember
not
that,
like shirtless and just have the gauntlets? Like that would be
like a Chippendales dancer?
And then they
Well,
put
he
the bow
is
tie.
actually part of an army. It's a fighting unit. It's not a.
And he's got the cuffs.
It's not a gay dancer.
Well, somehow it worked out.
No,
for
but
me.
it is pretty interesting because we touched on this a little earlier. You were coming off a moment where you were like a little bit. You're like, I don't understand, man. I don't like. I see all these people doing this stuff, and this is in no way like a criticism or anything, but you're feeling a little bit on the outside of things. And we had several talks over several months, right? Of just like, damn, dude, you've got this incredible strength. Just, you just came off of, you were developing some methods with Charlie to work with resin. And it was just a situation where I also, coincidentally, I had a birthday party where I requested everybody bring a self-portrait as a gift to me. If you wanted to bring a gift at all, then make it a self-portrait. Photographs not acceptable. And a lot of people brought some really great things, and you made this weird, like, Sucklord figure that I still have, of course. It's the first one. I'm very honored to own that. It's really
It's
cool.
actually not a resin figure.
Well,
It's a Dooku body with the with the Jango Fett
Sorry,
head on
I
it.
guess
It's
what I'm
painted
saying is-
silver,
So
but
you
it was
just-
You did
it
it
was in
before
the
you started casting?
yeah, it was in
Oh,
the
that's
gray
awesome.
blister
Holy
card.
shit.
It
Well,
was the
he-
same design scheme that I
Uh-oh.
used for the Sucklord
he had been
66.
casting. He had been
You
I know.
have one?
We
He's
did the
been-
Enos
So
with
there's only
JK.
one.
Yeah, he had been casting
He knows.
before,
Oh,
but it
okay.
was his own.
He ever wants to part with it.
Yeah, I do know one man who would like to get it at some
Well,
point.
so it's your fucking fault, Bill. Ultimately.
Well, maybe, but I'm just saying.
So
it was
you
a
can
great
direct
thing.
all your criticisms to Bill.
No, but it was a fantastic evolution you made. Where you're like, well, instead of kicking myself for not having one of the toy companies at the time make a vinyl figure of your ideas, you're just like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm just gonna do this homegrown thing. And actually, here we are 10 years later, and it's. I think it's a more collectible area. Like, there's a lot of active collectors.
I still think the fuck you vibe is important.
We're doing it right because I think if we were to make tons of stuff, it would just be.
No, the
How
market
about this?
is
The
fatigued.
this show
the
is
market
kind
is
of
fatigued.
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
So let's finish patting ourselves on the back.
Right?
Do you have anything at all you want to say about any of this shit?
I
No
just,
front legs.
by the way, this is like super abused. I don't know if you can see this, but for me, like if violence is a theme, like the abused packaging is like super tight.
Really? What do you mean abused? Because there's
Like
blood.
look at all
splatter
this-
of blood.
like the blood splats too, but like it looks like that we put the paint in it and just like squished it, like the blood in it and then squished it up. There's like, I almost want this to be even more like beat up, but like
Look
just
like a
the
piece of
fact-
evidence.
That's why you can't. That's
It
why
has
you
been.
can't replicate this stuff. I think
Dude,
that's
and his
why
name,
it's special
Dollar
because
Slice Bootlegs is such a thing of like the time. That's like Dollar Slice is kind of new, right? Like as a term.
dollar slices are newer. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
only
just,
last
just
couple.
to
Like
mix those two things together, like that's the real art.
things are
like,
tough
a
all
lot.
over, man.
Do you feel a dollar slice is new, or you think it's like a 70s?
A dollar slice of pizza?
Yeah.
Pizza used to cost less than $1 in the
Less than
'70s. When I was
I
a
feel
kid,
like
it was
99
$1.
cent
But
pizza.
now, when pizza got more
Yeah,
expensive,
true.
the dollar pizza was sort of the
It came back
response
as
at it. It was like
it's like a
bootleg
Gray's,
pizza.
It's like a Gray's
It was
papaya
shittier
hot dog.
pizza. They made
Man,
it
good those two.
Some of them are good, some of them are terrible.
Yeah.
But anyway, I hope this was informative to all you assholes. I can't believe you made it to the very end. But if you're watching,
I bet you people are gonna like the reviews.
yeah, and if you got something to
Some
say,
people will
you don't
like it.
think that I gave your toy proper credit, you can defend yourself in the comments.
Send toys.
I'm still your friend though. Love you, everybody. Super Sucklord, DK Dove, Billions McMillions. Thanks for coming. Healy Made, J Corp, Nasty Neil with the frog legs.
Frog legs, John.
Frogs. Who let the frogs out? Who let the frogs out? All right. Thank you. All right. Good night, everyone.